I would say, this is not just a good day, this is a great day. It's good to see you. And I know that a lot of people right now, as we go around the country, and I am privileged and honored to serve all of you in Washington, D.C. And I always remember the fact that you didn't send me to Washington, D.C. to bring Washington, D.C.'s ideas back here. You sent me to Washington, D.C. to take your ideas and make sure that we're honoring those when we're in the nation's capital. That's the way it works. That's the way it's supposed to work. And I think for the last 16 months or so, almost 17 months now since President Trump was inaugurated, we have seen an incredible rebirth in America. Just unbelievable rebirth in America. And people keep telling me all the time, well, he can't keep doing what he's doing. And I said, why is that? He said, because politicians always say what they'll do if they get elected, and then once they get there, they don't do it. And he's just the opposite. He's doing exactly what he said he was going to do. But if the president were here with you today, and I guarantee you, if the president were here with you today, you would not know him. From anybody to your right or to your left, anybody standing in front of you or behind you, he is exactly the same as each one of us. He is an incredible human being. And I want you to think just for 1 minute, if you were Donald Trump, living the life he was living before he was elected, would you have walked out of that and subjected your wife, your children, your family, and your friends to the type of horrible treatment that the president, the first family, and his other friends are going through? When you can't go to a restaurant and be served because somebody says, oh, you work in the Trump administration. Oh, no, you've got to leave. That's not who we are. That's not who we are. We may not agree on everything, but we do agree that this is the greatest country the world has ever known.
That's right.
And that we are endowed with rights from our Creator, not from a politician, not from a political party, but from our Creator.
That's right.
Amen.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that's what we are, given by our Creator. I will just tell you right now, for all the things that you hear being said, and all the things that turn out to be exactly what the president says when he calls it fake news. And they said, no, he doesn't know what he's talking about. And then a day or two later, it turns out it was exactly what he said. And when he talks about things, well, now next week he's going to NATO. And he's telling the people from NATO, listen, we don't mind helping you, but we want you to pay your fair share because a lot of you are not paying your fair share. That's a fundamental way that we think that we should be doing business. The president says, if you can't do that, then we can't help you anymore. And we would hope that you love your kids and your grandchildren as much as we love ours, where we're willing to put everything on the line every day for our people. And I don't know how many veterans are in the crowd. How many veterans are here? Just raise your hand. This is the true 1%. This is the true 1%. And we thank you for your service. We thank you for the service. You are the true 1% that wear the uniform that protect all of us. Now listen, we're going to have a tough race this year. And you know as well as I do right now, there's a lot of things being said out there today that are absolutely false. There are a lot of people speaking in hate terms about what they don't like and how the president's wrong and how the president is a terrible person. And that we have to make sure that we being that far left, gets elected so that we can impeach the president of the United States. They don't talk about making America great again. In fact, they don't even talk about keeping America great the way this president has. They talk about taking him out of office and making sure that this agenda that we're on right now, and this trajectory that we're on right now, with an economy that's just roaring. It's incredible where we've gone in just a little bit, a year and a half since his inauguration. It's been incredible growth. We're seeing it. Now, are we seeing full-fledged like what it's going to be? No. You know how old the Tax Cuts and the Jobs Act is? 6 months. 6 months. Just think when this thing really gets rolling, what it's going to mean to us. Just think of all the economic life that's going to come back into this country. Excuse me. We have so much right now in front of us that we can accomplish. But you know how we accomplish it? Together. Not apart, together. Each one of us reaching out to those that are nearest and dearest to us and say, let's do this together. Let's make America great again. Let's make America even greater than it has ever been before. Right now, we are at a point that everything is possible. Everything is possible. And we're taking our rightful leadership at the head of the world. The world's following us now. This idea that you can lead from behind. I never understood that because there's no such thing. And we became diminished as a country. We're now on the right track. And it's all because of elections. Thank you so much. It's all because of elections. It's because the way you got out and you voted. I would just ask you to please do this. Family, friends, when you're out having coffee somewhere and you hear somebody in the next booth that says, I'm just not sure if things are going the right way, ask them what they're not sure of. If it's about employment, you know all the numbers. Right now, for African Americans, the highest employment ever since we've been taking it, since we've been keeping track of it. For Hispanics and Latino, highest levels ever. For women, highest levels in over 20 years. In every place, in every home, everywhere we look, things are getting better. And they'll continue to get better, but we've got to win in order to keep them getting better. And it won't happen on itself. And you know yourself, when people tell you, well, if you let it go on its own, it'll work itself out. Anybody have a yard? Let it go on its own and think how it works itself out. Don't cut it. Don't pull the weeds. Don't prune those flowers back. If you want to see a rose bush bloom all summer, cut the dead ones away. And the other ones will come back and grow again. They'll bloom again. If you just leave it on its own, it'll die. It'll die. In this great country, as blessed as we are, with everything the Lord's given us, it only works when we work together to get there. So I'm just going to ask you, let's all look towards this election. Excuse me, and let's do what we can do. Make sure you're registered. Make sure you get out on election day. And make sure you talk to anybody who's confused about whether they should even go out and vote again. How many of you heard this term when you ask people, do you vote? And they say, no, I don't vote. And you ask them, why don't you vote? They say, well, because my vote doesn't count. Do you know what a true statement that is? If you don't vote, you're right, your vote doesn't count. But if you do vote, and you get out and you vote, and your friends and your family votes with you, then we stay on the same path that we're on right now, the road to victory. If we stay home and think things are going to be okay, it's going to be a disaster. So thanks for being here today. Let's all make sure we're looking in the right direction. Let's all make sure that we're all on board this Trump train, Make America Great Again. Thanks so much. God bless you. And I appreciate all the support that you've given me already. Thanks so much. Love being with you. Gail.